Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new YouTube video from your boy Savior Zaps. As you can see, we got ourselves another tier list video. This time, we on that Gears of War. Alright, we're gonna be talking about some Gears of War here. Little known Zaps lore. I am a huge fan of Gears of War. It was at one point where I was more of a Gears of War fan than Call of Duty fan at the time. I mean, Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 were absolutely like peak. It was my entire childhood alongside with Call of Duty. For me, Gears of War had the story, the multiplayer, eventually horde mode. I love Gears of War. I do. I even have the books. I mean, granted, I got it from my brother, but that doesn't matter. Anyways, so I want to start off with a quick, not a disclaimer, but with a quick little statement. Gears Pop and Gears Tactics, I've never played. So we're going to leave that up on never played right here. We're going to start off with Gears 5. Gears 5 wasn't really that well received, I should say. I mean, it was a lot of mixed reviews. I mean, Gears 5, first off, it had the open world campaign and all that. I think I've never played the campaign. I've seen gameplay, I've seen reviews about it, but apparently it was open world. It was set on with, I think her name is Kate, right? Kate, the main character, Kate, which nothing against her, but from what happened with Gears 4 and how that all turned out to now, it kind of just like left fans a little bit confused, I should say. But yeah, it was an open world Gears of War campaign, which is not the usual style of their stories. I feel as though they were trying to cater to, like, I guess, a more casual audience, more so than their hardcore fans that love the entire game as a whole. What I mean by that is that Gears of War also came out with battle passes as well. They called them operations, but they were battle passes just to keep up with Fortnite and Call of Duty at the time, because Fortnite did it first, and then Call of Duty followed the trend, and then like all these other shooters followed that trend as well, where they feel as though they need like a battle pass, and they'll just name it something else or whatever. But in Gears of War, the battle passes were called operations. And me personally, I mean, I didn't care for it, but the way they went about the operations, I mean, first off, they were free, which I think I remember they were free, which was a good thing. But the way the progress was for these operations, it was really tedious. I mean, you had to get these stars to go and unlock the tiers, but you got to get the stars by doing challenges, and it was just really like just step by step tedious. It made the game feel like a chore, a job. I hate when a game feels like that. But yeah, Gears 5 was trying to cater more so to the casual audience, to get some of that to get some of those players from Fortnite and COD, I guess, to go to Gears. I don't know. I really don't. I'm just on the outside looking in. The only upside for Gears would be the mechanics and the movement. It was very smooth. It was very fluent. I liked it. But what came with that was the maps as well. Multiplayer was, to me, not all that great in terms of the maps, the way the weapon layouts were on the maps, the power weapons, I should say. The power weapons. I mean, a hammer burst was a power weapon on the map. That makes no sense. Anyways, the only upside, I think, was the movement. It was very fluent, very nice, smooth. The downside of multiplayer was, I guess, the maps. The maps, I wasn't really a big fan of the maps. It didn't feel traditional Gears of War arena-like. It just didn't at all. For me, I give Gears 5 a B. Reason being is because it's not a great Gears, but it's not terrible, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a fucking stinker, you know what I'm saying? So I give Gears 5 a B. Up next, we have Gears of War 4. Now, Gears of War 4 was another title that I guess followed that trend at the time that Gears of War 4 came out, because when Gears 4 came out, it was more so like loot boxes and all that, and microtransactions and stuff like that. So Gears of War 4 was definitely at the time a breath of fresh air. It really was. I mean, we didn't get a new Gears game for a nice little while at this point in time. Plus, the franchise was quite dipping a little bit, and we'll get to that, you know, as we go on with this video. But Gears of War 4 for me, I really liked. Now the movement and all that, Gears 5 took the movement from Gears 4 and basically just amplified it, put it, you know, polished it, amplified it, all that good shit. But Gears 4 movement was more basic, more traditional, and it was in a good way too. Like, I still liked it. They even brought back, I mean, they always do this, but they brought back like even like the classic maps from the older Gears titles and all that. And plus the story again, Gears 4 was a breath of fresh air. It really was. It felt like a new era of Gears of War at the time. I mean, Gears of War 4 followed the son of Marcus Phoenix, JD Phoenix. His son was the main character, and it was a new enemy, a new locust type, the Swarm. And then you had the COG, which the COG at that time was well past whatever was going on with, you know, with the Locust War decades ago in terms of the game. So it felt like the more things changed, the more they stayed the same. I can best explain Gears of War 4. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked it. The story was good. The multiplayer was excellent. I enjoyed the multiplayer. I think, to be honest, now that I'm talking about it, I originally got Gears of War 4 put down on my notebook as B tier, but I think I may go A tier, because I originally had it B, but we'll go A with it. Gears of War 4, A tier. Up next, brother. Up next, we have Gears of War Judgment. Oh my god. Listen, alright. I'm not going to be bashing this game completely, alright? When Gears of War Judgment dropped, I'm not going to lie, for the first week of its cycle, I was ecstatic to play it. I was excited. I was hyped. It was a brand new Gears of War, especially coming off the heels of Gears of War 3 and finishing off the original trilogy. Gears of War Judgment being a prequel and like just being a new Gears, I was hyped. I really was. But as I was playing Gears of War Judgment, I've noticed that they've changed the very fundamentals, the very structure of what brought Gears of War to the dance. And what I mean by that was they completely took the formula of Gears and just threw it out the fucking window. I mean, they did. Story mode was basically just a glorified horde mode. It was basically just glorified horde mode. Just wave after wave after wave. Nothing really to it. It was no real like substance. Yeah, it was a prequel of like Baird and all that, but it didn't matter. I mean, you just went from point A to point B, just fighting off waves and waves of aliens and shit. So there's that. By the way, folks, if I sound congested, don't mind me, all right? I'm still a little sick, so quick little disclaimer. On to the multiplayer. The multiplayer was not that great. Again, when I first played Gears of War Judgment, I was excited to play it. I still remember when the game first dropped and, you know, I popped the disc into the Xbox and I loved it. But Gears of War Judgment's multiplayer just felt like it wanted to be like Call of Duty. So what they did was they just give us loadouts. And what they did by that was they just give us like an option to either pick a Gnasher, Lancer, or a Hammerburst. You couldn't pick two. You had to pick only one, I think. And then you had to pick like your throwable and then like your pistol or whatever. Like they made it seem like Judgment had like a created class system, and the maps were probably the worst in the game that I've ever seen. The maps felt like it was supposed to be like Call of Duty, and it failed. I mean, you had these Gears of War characters on multiplayer going from roofs and diving off the roof and landing on the, like, I remember vividly those maps where it just felt like Call of Duty. And at the time, like, Call of Duty was really, really hot. I mean, I think at the time we was going from Black Ops 2 to Ghost. So Call of Duty was surely at its peak back then. So from a business standpoint, I understand why a game would want to follow that kind of trend, but Gears of War is not that kind of game where you can bite off other trends. Gears of War is Gears of War. We keep it as that. But yeah, the multiplayer was bad. The maps were awful. It felt like a failed Call of Duty game. It did, and it sucks to say. Loved Gears of War as a franchise as a whole, but Judgment was horrible. I give Judgment bottom of the barrel, B tier. My personal favorite, Gears of War 3. I remember when it was the summertime, and I think I was going into high school, and Gears of War 3 was out and it was popping and it was so incredible. I loved everything about Gears of War 3, from the story, the absolute pinnacle, the climax that we have reached in the story that the fans were waiting for. Horde mode was amplified and at its peak as well. Horde mode was also great to play. Multiplayer was really good. Multiplayer, and then they added, at that time, they added like the weapon skins and all that. Then they brought out the DLC with DLC characters, DLC maps, all that good shit. Gears of War 3 for me was the pinnacle, I think, of the entire franchise. I love Gears of War 3. For me personally, I got Gears of War 3 at S tier. Now on to Gears of War 2, the most beloved title of the entire franchise. And I love Gears of War 2. Listen, just because I have Gears of War 3 as my personal favorite, doesn't mean that I'm gonna discredit Gears of War 2. Gears of War 2 was that shit. It really was. I remember, right, coming home from school. I was like in the 4th or 5th grade. I don't remember, but I remember coming home from school and my brother actually had like a chipped Xbox. He had like he had a chipped Xbox, burnt CD, and he had Gears of War 2 like a month before it was supposed to come out. And I remember us playing the campaign before anyone did, and it was just a vivid memory that I have in my childhood. Again, like, this game ruled my childhood alongside Call of Duty, Left 4 Dead, all that shit. SmackDown versus Raw. But yeah, like, Gears of War 2 was the absolute pinnacle. Plus, it was the first Gears of War to have Horde mode too. So you had, again, you had the story mode, which was still on fire. You had Horde mode, the introduction of Horde mode, and you had the multiplayer, which was probably the best at the time, probably the best that the franchise has ever seen. Multiplayer was really fun. My brothers played it, my cousins played it. I wasn't really that good enough to play online, at least, but I've enjoyed watching other people play it. And plus, competitively, Gears of War 2 was on and popping as well. So Gears of War 2 for me also goes S tier. Now, the first installment of Gears of War, obviously the game that kicked it off for this entire franchise. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I mean, Gears of War, alongside with Halo, because they were both arena shooters, but Gears of War was more so third person. It was an arena shooter, and it had its own taste. It had its own way of doing things, and people digged it. People liked it. People fucked with it. For me, like I said, Gears of War was my childhood. It really was. Gears of War for me goes S tier. And we have down here Ultimate Edition, but we're just gonna ignore Ultimate Edition. Ultimate Edition and Gears of War 1 is basically the same thing, so there's that. Folks, there it is. There's the entire tier list of Gears of War. Like I said, Ultimate Edition is just like Gears 1, so we're gonna leave that out. But here it is. Here it is. Short, sweet, and to the point. I just want to make another tier list video. I have more ideas of other tier lists that I want to make and that I want to record, so you guys stay on the lookout for that. The Kanye West one did numbers, and that one did great. I appreciate all the support on that one. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoy the video, if you guys agree with my ranking, if you guys feel as though I should bring a game down, bring a game up, let me know down below. I'm thinking about doing a Halo one, Call of Duty. I'm gonna stick to more like video game tier lists. Every now and then I'll probably do music, but yeah, I enjoy doing these tier lists. They're fun. Oh, and also wrestling too. I'll do pro wrestling tier lists as well. Again, I have all these ideas down. I just gotta record them. So folks, if you made it this far into the video, I appreciate you all. I appreciate the support. Let me know if you want to see more of these tier list videos down below. More content coming soon to the channel. All my links of all my socials and all that down below in the description. Like, comment, share, subscribe to your family, to your friends, all that good shit. And peace out, folks.